Good morning, everyone. I'm your host for this morning session. I'm Guillaume Calfon, overseeing Middle East and Africa of Fluitech, and I'm here to have the honor and pleasure to introduce you Wojciech Majka, who is owner and director and CEO of Ecol. And his presentation today is on industrial lubrication outsourcing in line with ICML 55.1 standard, ICML 55.1 standards from the International Council for Machinery Lubrication. And without further ado, Wojciech, really looking forward to hearing what you have to tell us.
Thank you. Good morning, Guillaume. Good morning, everybody. Maybe good afternoon to some of you. Some of you probably sleep still in the Western Hemisphere. So hopefully when you see it, you will enjoy. Yeah, thank you for this introduction. I would like to share some information, some thoughts about the industrial lubrication programs with the use of ICML standards. It's pretty new, pretty fresh topic in the lubrication world. So we have some thoughts about that. I wish to share about it. My presentation is being co-authored with Mr. Krzysztof Wojtyczka, Paweł Pomietlarz, and Tomasz Klima, my colleagues from Ecol. So hopefully you can reach them also with some additional questions or more thoughts. The agenda.
Sorry to cut in, Wojciech. It's the last time. For anyone who wishes to give comments or questions, you have a chat opportunity. You can write them in the chat, and we will see them towards the end if we what time we have. Thank you very much. Sorry, Wojciech. Go ahead.
No problem, Guillaume. So just a few words about us, about Ecol, because maybe not all of you know who are we and what it's about. Then the lubrication as a maintenance process description, introduction to ICML standards, practical findings, and some summaries around that. We've been doing the lubrication management for almost 30 years. This year is the celebration year of 30 years of existence of our group. So I think we've done a lot of things about lubrication, reliability management, specialty cleaning services for related to lubrication areas, like for turbines, and especially in large industries like power generation, chemical industries, and that sort of things. So our range of activity is everything around the core of lubrication services. So first, of course, the big cover of lubrication outsourcing, so taking care in full scope, lubrication service and implementation, of course, cleaning of oil systems, of turbines, large equipment like hydraulic systems or big circulation systems in steelworks. We are doing oil analysis. We are one of the largest European labs for oil analysis, also with introduced grease tip technology. We are supplying lubricants as the lubricants management part of it. We are taking care of lubrication services in terms of lubricants care, also with varnish mitigation. We are the partner of Fluitech in this area in our part of the world. We do chemical services. We do specialty cleanings for industrial plants, especially for commissioning services. And we do some fresh, I would say fresh because this market is growing, services for windmills, wind farms. We are hiring almost 400 people on board in 3 locations: the Polish headquarters and subsidiary in Czech Republic near Prague, and the other subsidiary in near Orlando in Florida. So trying to cover the world with some specialty services. We've been active in more than 30 countries so far. So you can reach us really wide world. Getting to the point, there is a question how to design and maintain, because design is one thing, but then maintaining the lubrication process in large plant. I'm talking about the large plants because in small facilities, it's a little bit easier. You have more time, maybe less devices, less equipment, so it's easier. But in big plants, big facilities, it is a challenging. The experience of ours is based on hundreds of or thousands of equipment located in different kind of factories. Mostly power plants, as you can see on the slides, from very large ones, coal-fired plants, gas plant. It's around 40 turbo units being cared and associated devices being cared by us in this area. We are active in oil refineries. We are active in petrochemical sites, nitrogen and syngas plants. So a lot of factories that are specific. I mean, specific in terms the need for reliability, specific in terms of safety requirements, about the value of the assets that are being maintained. That all makes it really special about the lubrication. The number of equipment that we are serving every day is around 25,000 pieces. So it's a lot. You know, it requires a lot of effort, a lot of attention. It's being taken care by more than 200 lubrication technicians every day in these plants that are hired by us, and we are responsible for lubrication programs and the management in these facilities. Even the number of rolling bearings in this, you can see it here, is 33,000 pieces of rolling bearings, which are lubricated, which are being tested, which are being sampled with greases, etc. The number of service tasks annually are more than 500,000 a year. So you can see how well designed the process should be to take care of such a big numbers. And then I will go to the point how to design such a process. Of course, the numbers that I show you are for many customers because we are an outsourcing company. But individually on each plant, you can consider that as independent project that you need to understand in a very similar way. So what we are told about the lubrication recently in conferences, in some trades, exhibitions, I attended the Lubricants Expo just 2 weeks ago, and everybody is speaking of some environmental impact, so ESG, carbon footprint, this circular economy. We are told that lubrication management is more important to industry because it's an enabler to business advantages. We are told that the reliability is very much impacted by a good lubrication process. We hear that the supply chains are disrupted or interrupted because of the war in Ukraine, because of many factors, COVID, of course, just before a couple of years. And we are also told about the Industry 4.0 programs, about the autonomous lubrication, autonomous testing, etc. But I must say that the perception of lubrication is still often closer to dirty jobs than sophisticated technical engineering tasks. Still, the lubrication is neglected many times, and it's a source of huge problems in the industry. Of course, everybody who was in a big plant like refinery or power plant or some pulp and paper plant or such things, or even big automotive factory, you know how many machinery is there. Each machinery has some lubrication points, lubrication or maintenance places where you need to look and take care of it. Sometimes it's in a very large area, sometimes also in this very big space, because it's not only flat surface, it's sometimes very high, some towers, some basements, or even underground facilities. Anyway, whatever it takes, the lubrication must be done, because without good lubrication, you might have failures. Failures and of course damages and the impact on the plant performance. We always should take care of the total ownership costs of lubrication, not only the cost of lubricant or the machinery itself, but what this brings to the plant, was the investment and the ownership cost. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because we are here in the lubrication reliability summit, so for us it's rather fortunate, the world is changing. So we see more and more reasons how to implement good lubrication strategies and processes. The reasons for bad lubrication or bad resulting problems are many. I will not be speaking deeply about all these reasons. You've probably heard and read of them many times. However, usually it begins with the lack of some strategy and planning and goals for the lubrication. It is as it is. I mean, there are some technicians, there are some maintenance people that take care of the lubrication just by accident or just as a byproduct or by process of the maintenance. And if you don't consider that as the key process in the plant, which is running daily, all the time, 24 hours a day, and have no attention, then you don't think more. So you have no tools, no people trained, no history behind it, no measures, no KPIs, and that's spinning the wheel, creating and the snowball effect. We know that the supporting culture is very very important. The friend of mine, Haris Trobradovic from SDT, speaks excellent about the culture, organizational culture, and the impact of the lubrication. So culture, proper planning, execution of the process has the very powerful impact on the on the plant performance on every stage: erection, commissioning, and then operation. But there is a good news. The ICML, which stands for International Council for Machine Lubrication, released the ICML 55.1 standard, and following .2 and .3 in a very close future, which is the guideline for reaching the lubrication excellence based on best practices put together by international worldwide experts from all over the world. So it's a kind of tactical lubrication standard which is in alignment with the ISO 55,000 asset management. So we have a standard which is for lubrication management. I have a copy with me. Greetings to the ICML team. Hopefully we'll have some opportunities to talk later on today with Paul Hiller and hosting the discussion what the standards and what the MLE gives to us. But this is the requirements. So the basic fundamental thing. The following 55.2 and 55.3 will be implementation and auditing things. What the ICML did, they took or organized the areas of lubrication program planning in 12 areas, which you can see on the screen, which is skills of the people of the staff that is incorporated in the lubrication management and plant management programs. Machine, which is about the machine lubrication and condition monitoring readiness. So how we have it designed, what's the condition of the machinery, what the machine wants from this process. Of course, part 3, lubricants. So lubricant selection, lubricants performance, and that sort of things. 4, lubrication, which is the tasks that are supposed to be done for the lubrication management. So some tap ups, refills, filtration, that sort of activities. Tools, whatever it takes about the tools and equipment that we use for the lubrication process. Some lubrums, filter kits, some testing equipment, etc. Inspection. So the whole program or process, how we inspect the machinery and lubrication process to be sure that we didn't neglect any part of it. Lubricant analysis, sure. So all the programs for condition monitoring, troubleshooting, so being a part of solving the problems, different one, from the operational ones to the even for root cause analysis after some failures. Waste management, which is very impacting on the environmental things, pretty common or very important to the environment. Energy consumption, so what we can do with our area to support better energy efficiency. Lubricants reclamation, so how to make it more circular. The Fluidtech is making a lot of things. You are a part of it. How to make it more circular, how to use the lubricants longer and more efficient way. And of course, the management metrics and the supporting tools, how to be sure that our program is being designed properly and we are continuously improving it. Because of that, also the ICML aligned new programs like MLE, Machine Lubrication Engineer, which are told how to look and design the lubrication processes. So in practice, what is it? I would say it's a set of technical and organizational measures to ensure the optimal conditions for lubrication management. So whatever it takes, how to make it better, more smooth, more reliable for the plant operations. This presentation will be available for download, so I'm not going to read all of these things. But I would say whatever you can think which is related to lubrication, that's the role of lubrication management. So we lubrication managers should translate the needs from our technical assets to the language of plant managers, operation managers, economists, to be allowed to spend enough money, enough efforts to make the machinery running smooth and producing the outcome, which is the role of the plant. So the lubrication service organization, we provide outsourcing, but most of the times it is internal organization within the plant or within the facility. Anybody from this area is incorporated in plant maintenance for daily maintenance, for planning of overhauls, also for the overhauls execution, sometimes supervision of the third parties. We take part for the lubrication, and of course in new investments or pre-commissioning, that kind of things. So the effects of well-implemented lubrication programs following the ICML 55.1 is of course the increased reliability and the plant performance. That's the most important thing. Sure, aligned with the safety and the impact on the environment, and these detailed elements like equipment life extension, appropriate scheduling, appropriate preparation for the process. It's not firefighting. The lubrication management is about to have everything scheduled to the extent that we can predict. But anyway, we should not be firefighters running around just extinguishing some fires because of bad lubrication reasons. Improved costs of lubrication consumption. Sure, the lower overhaul costs, which are resulted from bad lubrication and some excessive wear. We are making the history available. We are making the KPIs available for measuring the improvement. So how we do that? You have the you have the initial RFQ from the customer. We try to understand the needs from the customer. We do the lubrication maintenance survey to understand what's behind. Of course, there's a negotiation process, being a part of contracting some long-term agreement, and then the operational thing starts. So we do the plant asset listing. We investigate all the documentation which is required for setting the required numbers and the required activities related to each lubrication point, lubrication equipment. We are incorporating that in IT database, so the software, I would say lubrication management software. We are setting all the tasks related to condition monitoring, etc., and we work. So it's being done with the project team. There is a project site manager, so lubrication division manager, a person who is responsible to deliver this lubrication program to the customer, to the organization. There is a data acquisition lubrication engineering team who is going on site and verifying everything in a very detailed way on site, not on paper, but on site, taking photographs, taking the real nature pictures, what's there, where to lubricate, what to do, how to connect. So preparing the documentation for the process. Of course, there's a team of IT, data, and maintenance reliability specialists who are setting up the software and lubrication engineering issues. So improving from the very beginning thinking of how to improve the process to make it running smooth. Tools and supply chain specialists, lead technicians, so foreman, experienced people who will take a lead over the people that will be doing the jobs on site. So it's not like we are having only new people on board and no one knows what to do. No, we need to have someone who knows his job and how to manage the people doing the jobs. Site servicemen, lubrication technicians, so you can say senior, the new ones or fresh ones, rookies, but also junior, who reverse, junior, rookies, and senior supervisors, experienced people who can take the lead over these particular tasks. And diagnostics and condition monitoring experts trying to support the reliability programs in terms of oil testing, oil analysis, and some other things, some other tools for diagnostics. So the plant asset review and listing is a key part of the whole story. Without deep understanding of the plant, deep understanding of the role of each machinery or each piece of equipment in the plant, you cannot, or it's very difficult, maybe you can, but it's difficult to establish appropriate appropriate hierarchy for the tasks. So the listing on site is a crucial part. We have a team that is doing it from the very beginning. So whatever plant it is, you can call us and we'll provide you with the listing. So we'll go on site, we do live watching of the equipment. Then we go to the documentation database. We see what's demanded for each machinery. So from names and plant coding, service points, design capacities of the volumes of the lubricants, what lubricants are in use, how much it requires for top-ups or relubrication, if this is some grease, where we can use some ultrasound systems for greasing, or where we have to use some automated systems. What's the oil care design systems inside? What's the plans for lubricants handling? Maybe this is some large systems that require some just filling some tanks and everything goes automatic afterwards, waste management, etc. So this part, we do that with our teams. We incorporate that in our software. We have the own software because we do a lot. So we decided to go with our IT service. We have IT professionals, programmers, and software developers to maintain these products. So I'm sure you are aware of CCMS systems, everybody. So this is a kind of plug-in to existing CCMS systems. Each piece of equipment has, we call it lubrication passport. So a brief document, which is of course online, but a brief document which very simply collects all the data related to lubrication for every single point of machinery. So you can access this lubrication card or the passport online very quickly. Not only us as the supplier of the service, but also the customer of the plant, to know what's in lubricants are there, what are some limits for oil cleanliness, for instance, and that sort of things. Also, the passport has the other page with guidelines where we should top ups, what we should open if we want to change the oil or some breather or some other piece of equipment related to lubrication. That's supporting our teams very quickly, that we can train and learn our staff how to behave in the plant efficiently. We use the coding on the plants, which is also required by the standard, to know where we do the service, where we do the activities on the lubrication. It used to be some tags before. Now we moved forward to use RFID codes, RFID tags, so going to digitalization, allowing our workers use the tablets or smartphones with data collection on site. So we go, we do the service, we input the data immediately on site, so that accelerates the process, but also makes sure that our technician or the customer's technician was on site at this particular device and clicked it. It's been recorded. So that's a key role of this digitalization. Not only the access to the data, but also collecting the data and proving that we was doing the service out there. Nowadays, we are using more than 15,000 tags to the machinery, and it's growing. So that's a very nice tool how to support. Service facilities and equipment, it's also a big part of discussion, how to make the lube technicians' life easier. So modern equipment, lube rooms, some specifically designed cans, lubricators. I mentioned the lubrication support systems with the ultrasound. We use the SDT for that. We incorporated all the tools in one system. So that cannot be neglected. You can't do great work or excellent work without good tooling. Sure, you need to schedule the works, so you need to know exactly what to do, when to do, what to do, and how to do. If that requires some specific permits on site, because you may work in some hazardous areas, which are like ATEX zones, or maybe this is done on some very specific heights. Some are on some towers, or maybe in the windmill, wind turbine. So it requires specific preparation going there. It's important to know what are you going to face and challenge, and train and prepare the people for that. Then you do unscheduled and random works execution. So sure, it's live, it's technical live, so it may be some emergency that need to come and do. So you need to be prepared for that. So you need to have some plans for this occasion, and there's also people ready to take this challenge. Lubrication and lubrication systems improvements. This continuous improvement is also very important. So changing or choosing the right lubricants or better lubricants, greasing automation, so measurements automation, sampling performance, filtration oil care, etc. When you do the diagnostics, sure, you need to go for taking samples. You do the oil analysis or grease analysis or other fluids analysis, as well as the diagnostic tasks. You may use, and we do it frequently, some other measurements like thermography, ultrasound testing, some leak testing, the liquid flow rates, some electrostatic discharge detection, vibrations. So everything which is modern and allows you to lubricate the equipment better.
Hello, Wojciech. I hate to be the timekeeper. We cannot go over in these sessions, which are obviously way too short, because it's.
I can see my clock.
Eating up every word you say. I think it's really deeply impressive, and we can see how much is involved. I would suggest that it's too short, because you've covered a lot of the technical side.
I have three slides. I have 3 slides, so I'm just finished about that. So summarizing, the ICML standard helps you and enables to understanding the relationships of the plant and the lubrication, and this gives you the chance to go towards lubrication excellence. And I would tell you, if that was a Bible, and it should be a kind of Bible for lube technicians and plant management, I would say if that was a Bible, then in lubrication we trust. And that is what I wanted to say.
We have reached the end. I would so much love to know the human side of all this and the interactions of trust and openness between you and the customer. But we've reached the end of the session. Thank you so much, Wojciech. Fantastic.
Thank you, Gino.